This is KGW News at Sunrise.
I heard this crash and then heard this just roar of a revving.
Yeah, suspect leads police on a chase in a stolen truck, crashes into a home and tries to hide from the cops. Wait till you hear what they found inside that stolen truck. This led to charges of impersonating an officer.
Also this half hour, a fire shuts down one of the most recognizable names in the Portland restaurant scene. Again, we're talking about Rio's Ribs. This is the third time in the last 5 years that the popular barbecue spot is caught on fire. We'll let you know when they hope to reopen. Plus,
when we looked at the math would say everyone has a different optimal shot.
There's real science behind shooting a basketball. The technology one professor is using to help athletes fine-tune their free throw coming up.
So my lack of science knowledge is why I'm bad at basketball. Is that the deal?
Didn't you know?
This is a great shot this morning. We're going to show you this all morning here on Sunrise. Lee Farms in Tualatin is getting ready to put on its annual Sunflower Festival. It happens over the course of 3 weekends, starting this coming weekend. Eric Patterson behind the lens there this morning, showing off the sunflowers. We'll have more from him coming up in just a few minutes.
Beautiful morning. Happy Tuesday. Thanks for waking up early with us. And yeah, the heat wave is starting today, huh?
Yeah, well, we hit 90 yesterday.
Oh,
So if that is the definition,
Yeah,
if that's the definition you want to use, I think we're in day 2 of the 90-degree heat. But the serious heat kicks in tomorrow. We'll look at that in a second. For right now, it is seriously dark outside still. The sunrise is, of course, getting later and later. We do have some patchy broken cloud cover out of the airport right now at 64 degrees at PDX, 57 Hillsborough, 56 King City. Big picture across the state right now. Baker City waking up to 48, John Day 60. Temperatures this morning are in the same ballpark, if maybe a degree or two warmer in some cases than they were yesterday when we hit 90. So despite any patchy clouds this morning, I think we have no problem getting into the mid-70s by lunchtime, and I've got us up at 90 again today. And then, guys, a heat advisory kicks in for Wednesday and Thursday. What that means for our temperatures and when we cool off in my 7-day in just a few minutes.
All right, Chris, thank you. Our top story this morning is a follow-up to a police chase that ended when the suspect crashed a stolen truck into a house in southeast Portland. Police said the driver then broke into another home nearby and hid from officers.
Yeah. Well, eventually officers did find him, and inside his truck, they say they also found a counterfeit police badge, hundreds of dollars in cash, and drugs. KGW's Mike Benner has more for us.
This is about the worst that's ever happened. Yeah, definitely.
The exterior damage to Charles Daniels' Southeast Portland home only begins to tell the story of what happened here late Sunday morning.
I heard this crash and then heard this just roar of a revving. And I was like, what could this guy be doing? I heard this other crash and then another crash, and I felt a little bit of a jolt. Tried to ignore that.
But there was no ignoring what was playing out right outside Daniels' home near Southeast 45th and Taylor. Authorities say a man in a stolen truck hit Daniels' house while trying to get away from officers. The man then rammed a police cruiser before bailing out of the truck and taking off on foot.
We were all in lockdown for, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours while they searched for the guy.
Officers eventually found the man hiding in the basement of a home near Southeast 46th and Salmon.
Just a sad, broken, desperate person trying to get away, I guess, you know.
The suspect, later identified as Joshua Farrell, was in court Monday afternoon. The 36-year-old is facing nearly 3 dozen charges, including impersonating a police officer. That's because of what officers found inside the stolen truck. They discovered a counterfeit DEA badge, handcuffs, an airsoft gun, as well as drugs and cash.
It's just crazy. Wow. It's very sad. It's very sad. I just feel, I don't know, I kind of feel more sorry for the guy than anything else at this point.
Charles Daniels is also feeling grateful that the neighbor kids weren't playing outside when Farrell came barreling down the street. They could have been hurt, but weren't. At the end of the day, just some superficial damage to Daniels' home.
He could have gone through the space, you know, he didn't hit the window. He didn't hit our air system. So, yeah, in a lot of ways, we're pretty fortunate, I think.
In Portland, Mike Benner for KGW News.
Here are a few more quick headlines. A motorcyclist is in the hospital after colliding with a car in southeast Portland. This happened at 8:30 last night on 82nd and Flavel. When police arrived, they found the motorcyclist with significant injuries. The driver involved stayed at the scene and is cooperating. For the third time in 5 years, a fire damaged a popular barbecue restaurant in Northeast Portland's Hollywood district. Rio's Ribs on Sandy and 42nd caught fire at 2 o'clock Saturday morning. It was made famous because the owner was rapper Snoop Dogg's late uncle. There's smoke and water damage now to repair. They'd only been open 4 months. A fire first gutted the restaurant in 2017. Then it caught fire again in 2020. This video showing a transient woman starting it then. She was charged with arson. Now employees say this one is under investigation, but they think it was homeless people with a warming fire. An off-duty Bend firefighter and his twin brother died in a small plane crash yesterday morning in Idaho. Bend Fire posting the details on their social media. They say Daniel Harrow and his brother Mark were headed back to Bend after a camping trip in McCall, Idaho, when the crash happened. Daniel was piloting at the time. It's not clear what caused the plane to crash. Daniel started his career with the Scappoose Fire District northwest of Portland. He moved to Bend in 2014. And those are some of your morning headlines.
The Oregon Nurses Association is suing Providence Health for wage theft. The lawsuit says Providence switched to a new payroll system last month, and it alleges that this new system underpays nurses. The union says it's suing to recover lost wages. So what we're showing you right here is a statement from the union that reads, in part, Providence is a multi-billion-dollar company cheating nurses and working families from earning their livelihoods. Robbing workers of the money they rely on for food, rent, and basic needs is unacceptable. Providence responded to that with this statement that reads, Providence apologizes to its caregivers and their families who have been affected by recent paycheck issues. We take these issues incredibly seriously, and we're working daily to identify and resolve reported issues. Providence also says it's retroactively paying employees their correct salaries, and any thought that this was done on purpose, Providence says, well, that's just not accurate.
This week, the Oregon Convention Center is hosting a job fair geared toward young people, and the idea is to get them face-to-face with employers who could provide a living wage. Alaska Airlines and Timberline Lodge, just a couple of the dozens that will be there. One 17-year-old from Vancouver says he hasn't had a lot of luck applying for jobs up until now. Right now, he's working as an intern at a nonprofit kitchen, and he's hoping some of the skills he's learning there will help him stand out on Thursday.
They're important because they give like they said, teens and youth the advantage and a way to get out and reach out to the employer themselves and kind of put themselves out there and learn about every job opportunity there is.
So this job fair is geared toward the BIPOC community, but everyone is welcome. Organizers point out for youth of color, the unemployment rate can be 1.5 to 2 times greater than the general population. So the fair runs from 10 to 2 o'clock on Thursday at the Oregon Convention Center.
Well, about a month ago at this time, we could have shown you the sunrise. But yeah, as Chris McGinnis just mentioned a few minutes ago, we are losing daylight here in the morning hours. So this is a shot of the moon looking down on the sunflowers at Lee Farms in Tualatin. Their annual Sunflower Festival is kicking off this weekend. It'll run for the next 3 weekends. There's lots of opportunities to check out the flowers. I don't know if you guys realize this or not, but Lee Farms has been around since 1869. So 153 years, that family, the Lees, have been farming there in Tualatin. We'll have more shots of the flowers and perhaps more shots of the moon coming up here shortly.
Pumpkins there in the fall.
Oh, they do a great job. They have pumpkins in the fall, Christmas trees in December.
So when the sun comes up, we'll see a whole field of yellow.
Yes, and they're huge, like some are as tall as you.
Yeah, I know.
I keep wanting to plant sunflowers in our yard, and every year I forget to put the seeds in time. I'm like, I'm always disappointed because we get to this time of the year and we see everybody's gorgeous sunflowers. I'm like, they are beautiful.
Absolutely. And actually, they said that this year is a little bit delayed because of the rain, but they're there now, obviously, and they kick off this weekend.
And they're getting full sunshine to keep their blooming glory, right? All right, with that in mind, we are off and running to another 90-degree day. So we hit 90 yesterday. I don't see any reason why we're not 90 again today. Temperatures are already a degree or two warmer than they were yesterday at this time, and even if we have a little patchy cloud cover out there, that'll burn off pretty quickly today. So 90 seems like a pretty sure bet today. And then we really crank up the heat for Wednesday and Thursday. We have a heat advisory in effect for the Portland, Vancouver metro area and a good chunk of the region through the gorge as well, Western Oregon and Western Washington, from Salem north up towards Kelso. For temperatures anywhere from about 97 to 101 both Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday, could be a slight cool down. We'll have to wait and see, depending on whether or not we see any thunderstorms Wednesday night fire over the Cascades. They would throw cloud cover our way, and we would take a little while to burn that off on Thursday morning. That's not a slam dunk. So if that doesn't happen, we're looking at basically back-to-back days in the upper 90s. Quick look from our Timberline sky camera. Well, it doesn't show a whole lot out there this morning, obviously, because it's dark, right? It's 64 in downtown, 59 right now in Tigard, 59 Kaiser and Salem, Almsville checking in with 58 degrees. The beach forecast today, brief morning clouds becoming mostly sunny. It's just a beautiful day at the Oregon coast. Sunshine with temperatures in the low to mid 70s in Astoria. The Gorge gets a little warmer. The Dalles, you were 99 yesterday. Today we're going to shoot for 101, 90 in Cascade Locks. And as we hop over the Cascades into central Oregon, I've got temperatures generally in the upper 90s. Madras and Bend and you folks were about 92 to 95 yesterday, so we tack on a few degrees today. Here's a look at Futurecast up and down the I-5 corridor. We run our computer model late into the afternoon. It spits out 91 actually for Portland, 93 for Salem, and 100 in the Dalles. Our 7-day forecast then, we begin to climb up significantly. 99 on Wednesday, 98 Thursday, and then we take the edge off the heat, guys, heading towards the weekend. But note, our average high this time of the year is 82, so even though we will be quite a bit cooler, that's still a pretty warm forecast heading into the weekend.
Yeah, above average for sure. Thank you very much, Mr. Chris. We'll have more from Chris coming up in a few minutes. But this story is next on Sunrise. It's about engineering the perfect basketball shot. We're going to show you how a local professor is teaching his students the science behind shooting hoops.
The KGW School Supply Drive going on now this month, and so far we've raised enough cash and supplies to send over 4,000 students back prepared. One of the best ways you can help is to give online. So go to kgw.com/school and click Donate Cash. Plus, all this week when you give, you can double your donation because the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Union is matching cash donations up to $25,000. Or if you'd like to drop off in person, we will be at Intel Hawthorne Farm Campus Wednesday from 3 to 6. You can drop off school supplies and, more importantly, any old broken laptops, desktop computers, or tablets that you don't want anymore. Free Geek will clean all that tech, wipe the hard drive, and pass it on to a student who needs it. We want to thank OnPoint, Community Credit Union, Safeway Albertsons, Intel, and Dick's Auto Group for everything they're doing to make this year's drive a success.